I had
Yeah.
questions in my head, and now I'm forgetting them. I try to come up
I
with.
can answer. Here's the thing, I truly have forgotten everything I said in the first recording. I mean the recording that doesn't exist because it's the first
The
time.
recording that never happened, and this is the first time we're
The
meeting
recording,
each other.
the recording that shall not be named. The lost text.
The lost text. That's all. You're close to like the creator fund.
Oh, money.
Here's a question. What do you
Go ahead.
prefer? Do you prefer making like the short form TikToks, or do you prefer like the podcast actual play stuff?
Oh, easy podcast all day every day.
Really?
All day every day. Come on, because I see. You see this with the first recording. I managed to maintain the facade of like wholesome, nice, and now like it's just bitch. That's just like
it's all away.
God, was this your plan to fucking lower my guard?
Yes.
This is an expose.
Deplete your energy so I can get the real you.
Yeah, I'm just too tired to like pretend. My customer service energy is gone. Okay. We obviously all day every day podcasting. It's because TikToks are fun. They're fun. They don't take a lot of time to organize, so I can just make them literally whenever. But at the end of the day, it's still kind of marketing. You know, it's like short form content where I just have to make sure it's like interesting or like relatable enough to get people like invested in me as a person. But it takes a lot of energy. It takes energy, and it's weird because I'm just like by myself, and then a lot of times I'm the kind of person where like if a video doesn't get enough views or enough engagement, I will delete it off of my page because I'm like, oh, cringe. No. I made it like an objectively bad TikTok once, and then immediately on my For You page, I got a TikTok that was like, yeah, why do some creators make TikToks that like it sounds like they're trying to make like sounds? And I was like, oh, that's me. Delete. I'm self-reflective. I learn.
It's good marketing though if you're able to get a sound. Like that's what Ted Nivison did. Is he just did everything he could to make a viral TikTok sound, and it worked.
It works. Marketing. I mean, I have fun doing it. It's not all just like numbers, baby, but it's like
yeah.
I mean, but the podcast business is just like what I genuinely want to do. Just the idea that there's a group of people who just enjoy watching me talk is fun. I like this. I like attention. I don't know if that's obvious. I don't know if that's obvious from my behavior, but I am maybe a narcissist. So
well, no one could be a dungeon master without being just a little bit of a narcissist.
Yeah.
I mean, you're saying, like, I'm going to be able to flesh out an entire world for my friends to be entertained by for hours at a time, and they all have to pay attention to me. Just a little bit of narcissism.
Truly, going from I sometimes be a player every once in a while, but I went from being like a dungeon master for like months straight, and then I was a player for the first time in a while, and I was like, I'm talking way less than I'm used to.
Yeah. It's like you start to relapse in like the control, like you get control withdrawal.
Yeah, it's yeah. So that's why I'm when people are like, what class do you main? I'm a DM main, so I'm better than you.
Do you have a class main aside from being a DM? Is there a class that you prefer playing?
Sorcerer.
Same. Sorcerer. I'm the same.
You get it. You get the vibe.
I totally get it. Sorcerer's my favorite class.
I love Sorcerer's great. I'm just in love with sorcery points. Quicken spell is like my favorite thing in D&D. I love quicken spell. Just the idea of being able to cast 2 spells in one round gets me hard, and I'm a woman. I don't know how I figured it out, but I did.
Is there like, is it the mechanics about the sorcerer that you get excited about, or is it like the?
I love the lore. I love the fucking mechanics. Story-wise, I love that it's like, yeah, my like dad was a dragon, and I guess I have all these like dragon spells just inside me. I don't have to do anything. I'm just like inherently magical. Like I think it's so slay, very cunt. Everything. It's like if like a warlock had no self-deprecation. everything good about that. And it's crazy. I love Warlock too. I played a lot of Warlock.
Yeah.
But like I play a Warlock when I'm playing an angsty character that has a lot of depth and blah blah blah. Blah. I play Sorcerer when I'm like, this character's a bitch and I love her for it. That's how it goes. Like if I'm playing someone who's like a bad person on purpose, Sorcerer.
What I like about sorcerers is being sort of a powerful but naive. Like I have no idea what this does, but I know it hurts you. So
So many different ways. Which reminds me, someone please make this is a call to action for everyone watching. Somebody please make a Fae flavored sorcerer subclass for me. Please.
That's wild magic.
No, but that's not like the vibe. That's not the vibe. If I say this, I want like the energy of like Fae touched Warlock or like
a fairy
not Fae touched, just like
sorcerer.
Yeah, like Archfey Warlock or like Glamour Bard. That energy, but sorcerer. That's what I'm looking. I don't fucking multi-class.
You could do like wild magic or like divine soul sorcerer and then do the Fae touched feat, but.
It's not it. I want like a sorcerer that's like, yeah, being fabulous is in my veins. Like you know what I mean? There's like a character that's like, yeah, I'm like descendant from a fairy, and you can very obviously tell based on how cool I look. Like my whole base is I'm a charmer and a killer, and there's nothing you can do. It's just like, you know,
I'm a charmer and a killer.
What you can do about it? I don't know. There's like a powerhouse. If anything, I think it's in. If it's a dragon subclass, why not that for fairies? Why not?
Because the game's called Dungeons and Dragons, not Dungeons and Fairies.
Dragons are fucking overrated, bro. I hate to be that guy. But
really?
I like dragons.
That is a hot
That's
take.
Fine. Yeah, fuck dragons, guys.
What do you not like about dragons? What do dragons do to you?
I don't know. I was gonna say they give me the ick. Yeah, dragons give me the ick. It's just I can't even. It's just such a red flag.
The fact that they just hoard all their wealth.
Like, oh my god, it's giving classist.
God, I hate.
Okay, imagine you live in a fantasy world, and you get to choose between I'm the descendant of a dragon or I'm the descendant of an archfey. Who are you choosing between those two options?
I feel like
I will judge you heavily off your answer.
I feel like they're fairly equal.
Oh, boo.
Okay,
boo.
Is it like, depends on what kind of fae it is. Are we talking like Celtic fae, where they'll like eat your children? Or is it like more Tolkien fae, where they're all like glamour flowy? Like what kind of fae are we talking about here?
In my mind, I'm thinking Tolkien fae, but I can say dealer's choice for both.
Because when I think of fae, I'm thinking
dragon
of like...
versus best case fae.
So the worst. I mean, of course, I'm gonna pick the best fae because the best fae are like Tinkerbell. Like that's the best fae.
I don't know. I just think I don't know because I think sorcerer is like I don't think I know it's like a charisma fucking class. Mm-hmm. Although to be fair, I have seen people noodle around with like Constitution
the Constitution
sorcerer thing,
yeah.
which would be fun.
I'm fine with that.
See, the Constitution thing would be fun for the fucking like specifically for the draconic like bloodline subclass, right? But if it's a fae sorcerer, charisma makes so much sense. Like, if anything, imagine a fae sorcerer, and they have that whole Tinkerbell thing of like, if I don't get enough attention, I'll die. So they're just like traveling around, but trying to become famous, but they can't because they don't have a skill outside of like nepo baby vibes.
So like, just someone with a rich mom who's trying to get like really popular on TikTok, but like they're not getting any following because they have like nothing original.
Yeah, and like in fucking fantasy medieval-esque times, you can't buy bots. Can't do that.
Like, there's no love for the content. You're just trying to get like sponsorships. Like that's it. Like you're just
truly, yeah, for sure. But, like literally, it's very much just like I need attention. I have a medical condition. Requires I need a certain amount of people to adore me every day.
If people are not paying attention to me, I will croak.
Or fucking die.
I will kill.
They did a little bit of damage. they take a little bit of damage every time they fail a charisma check.
It's inspiring leader, but if you don't do it, you take the damage instead of getting the temp HP.
Is that, or like you take a level? It's like for every day someone isn't like in love with you, you take a level of exhaustion. It's
that's a brutal. Holy shit. Okay, wait. So sorcerer is your favorite class. What is your least favorite class if you have one?
Oh,
I know what my least favorite class is.
Ooh, really? Okay, I know I'm not original in my opinion. I think Rangers are lame. I think Rangers are so lame.
I love Rangers.
So fucking just be a fighter, bro. What the fuck is the point?
It's being like one with like tracking and like knowing your enemy.
So lame.
It's like Aragorn from Lord of the Rings.
Ew, just go fucking Arcane Archer, bro. Just go do that. Just.
Okay, I'm defending Rangers here.
Okay,
if
go ahead.
Your campaign is like wilderness and travel focused, Rangers are like very much necessary. I had a West Marches campaign where there was a lot of like overland nature travel, and they were rolling survival checks, and they were doing really bad. They were getting lost. I think travel, like the hex crawliness of D&D, has kind of been phased out over time, but Rangers are still kind of the shadow of that. So
shadow of that past.
Yeah, the like when getting to and from the dungeon was part of the adventure.
You can't just back when you could have just like fucking Uber to the local.
Yeah, back when it's
although to be fair, I feel like in a game, if I was like, oh cool, my whole thing is like I can search around and blah, 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 I just be like a scout rogue, you know? I think I honestly I feel like rogues are great. I don't play them all, but I think the rogues are great. They're good for tracking. They're good for like finding traps. I feel like rogues do everything a ranger can do, but better, except just like minus the nature bullshit. But then you can just get like either a feat or like a character background that gives you proficiency in nature.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is my last attempt at defending Rangers.
Yeah, what you gonna do?
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Rangers.
Gunslinger. Fighter.
No. That's if you're a fighter. I'm talking like Arthur Morgan, like you hunt for your food. You're a frontiersman. I'm talking full RD2, like you are like braving the nature, you know?
I know this because I have a character in my podcast that fucking built that character. Gunslinger, bitch.
Okay.
They're like a gunslinger with a fucking homebrew. Not homebrew, but they got it from like it's homebrew, but they got it from like some third party. It's somewhere on the screen. It's somewhere on the screen what I'm talking. Hey dude, hilarious mistake on my part. I don't remember if it's from the bit of the interview that got deleted because you made a terrible fucking mistake because you're dumb, or the part that we re-recorded afterwards. But turns out Zeke plays a ranger, not a gunslinger, when I was dunking on rangers. That's on me. You know, I'm a big enough person to admit my own mistakes. Rangers still fucking suck, and he's playing a broken homebrew one, so I don't attribute that to the class. And yeah. Truly, I'm not saying Rangers are terrible. Rangers are fine in a very specific circumstance.
Yeah.
However, anything a Ranger can do, another class can do it equally as good, if not better. I feel like the only Ranger character in like a piece of TTRPG media I've actually fucked with is Liam from A Crown of Candy. That's it. Gloomstalker looks kind of cool.
Gloomstalker's great.
Like, invest that much time in Ranger. What?
Do you like Star Wars?
No, straight up. I just haven't seen it. I'm so sorry. I just haven't seen it. I feel like there's so many big franchises I just haven't gotten the chance to watch. I never got into Star Wars. I never got into Harry Potter. I enjoyed the Percy Jackson films, the 2 that came out, but I never got to watch the thing. Oh, you just got a crazy look in your eyes. You okay? You're having a heart attack?
Did you just say you liked the Percy Jackson films?
It's bad, but like childhood, nostalgia.
Okay, alright. Sure. Alright, I just gotta block you after this interview.
Fight me, guys. I don't care. I enjoy bad films. It's cool.
I do too.
Also,
I love that.
To be fair, I was like pretty deep into like the young adult movie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was into Divergent. I liked Maze Runner. I didn't get into Twilight, but I have friends who are obsessed with it. Yeah, okay. Hey, Colleen Hoover fucking sucks. Is that her name? Hoover? Is that her last name?
Who?
Hoover. The author of Twilight. The
No, her name's
Colleen.
Hoover.
I believe it's Colleen Hoover.
Is it?
But then I feel like I'm pronouncing that weird. Colleen Hoover.
Do you have
Go
any
ahead,
books?
sorry.
Are there any authors or books that influence your like D&D thing, like running the game?
Don't read.
You don't read.
I'm sorry, I keep writing down your fucking questions.
It's alright.
But
Movies,
no.
TV, anything like that, any kind of media.
Sorry. Back to the book question. There is a book I read for research purposes, and I talked about it at times. I'm using it to prop up my laptop. So there's a character in my podcast that is truly just a piece of shit. The worst bro, the worst person you can fucking think. He hasn't appeared yet. He's been mentioned in the latest episode, which came out months ago, episode 4. Like, imagine the tech bro alpha listens to Andrew Tate probably, okay? And I bought this second hand because I refuse to give money to the author. But it's called the fucking 49 Laws of Power, and it is the worst thing I have ever read. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. Yeah, it's 48 Laws of Power. Holy shit, I felt like a bad person for reading this. It's bad. It is so fucking bad. It is insane. It is. Oh my god, I'm trying to fucking look through. Okay, let's go look through the fucking contents page, shall we?
Oh, Christ.
So basically, the whole thesis of this book is that it's. Oh, jeez, this looks fucking insane. I'm like, I haven't read this in months, but it's like the whole thing is like, how do you manipulate the people in your life to do your bidding? That's basically.
So you read this to inspire your villain?
I read it because it's like I want this person to be terrible, but in like a real life way. Like a person. Because I want this person to be like a. How do I say this? I wanted the villain. I'm not gonna spoil this, but I wanted the villain to be like, this is a bad person that society will protect.
So you're going less of the route of like Sauron trying to summon an army to take over the world. You're going less Dark Lord and more
man in power, like evil man.
Evil man in power, but like
evil power.
That's interesting to me. That's really interesting to me.
Oh my god, I'm sorry. I keep reading into this, but it's like Lord 32 play to people's fantasies. Holy shit.
It seems like we're pivoting less from like the evil king and more to like the evil CEO.
Honestly, I feel like because a society, literally perfect. Literally perfect sentence to describe them. Evil CEO. Because honestly, art imitates life. Literally, if I had to pick someone from like the real world who I think is a genuine supervillain, it's fucking like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk and all these fucking idiot CEOs.
Yeah.
Like in real life, we can't like the working class. We can't just run up and murder these people without facing some kind of consequence. So I want my players to face that kind of thing where it's like, oh, I can't just like murk this guy in an adventure because it's like there are consequences to my actions.
Yeah.
Like they have to be smart about if they want to take this guy down. And he hasn't a big character yet, but he's gonna be.
It's kind of like it's like in the old days, the villain is the evil king, the tyrant king, and now they're pivoting more to the tyrant CEO that uses their power irresponsibly.
Honestly, although honestly, times have changed and we don't live in like a strict hierarchy anymore. It's still there, but just in like different ways. Like it's still there. And if anything, it's more untouchable because it's like. Back in the day, kings would like have like still like see people as in like, oh, I have a meeting with the king, I must do that. But like CEOs have just gone so insanely fucking powerful that it's impossible. How do I say this? It's a mix of like CEOs are in a position where it's like, oh, it's not my problem. I'm just a part of the system. Like, what can I do? But then also at the same time, they have a hand in politics, so it's like,
Yeah.
You are creating the system that benefits you.
They are the system.
And you are the system, bro. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, honestly, if you want to give yourself a headache.
I talked about this earlier in a recording that we never did. In the first episode of your podcast, the D&D one, the first, like, the call to adventure, a crow, the mechanical crow with the invitation letter, and not the main character, but one of your characters initially rejects the offer of adventure. There's a call to action, they just totally just shut it down.
Yep.
In D&D, that's kind of a dick move, because, like, we have an adventure, we're playing a game here, come on, play along. But if I was writing a movie, or if anyone was writing a movie or a TV show, that's what they would have a main character do, is deny the call to adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And having a podcast where it's like, it's a game, you're playing a game, but it's also you're playing a game for a show to tell a story. How does playing a game and telling a story conflict or go well with each other?
Thank you for the question. As a DM, I bring my characters like, here's the setting, here are certain stakes, and here's an enemy you may want to thwart. The dice is truly just like, it's just luck. It's just that's not eloquent as I want it to sound.
It's luck. It's chance.
It's just it's just that randomizing factor. It's like sometimes I check out of films when I can, like, I think I have like pretty good pattern recognition. So if I'm like, if I can tell what's gonna happen, I'm like, oh, okay, it's a twist. The bad guy's gonna come, and then it's gonna reveal that they're blah 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 blah, and then it's gonna end in a happy ending, or someone's gonna be betrayed, or it's gonna be, whatever. Because if it's in a certain genre and it follows certain tropes, you can pattern recognition. You can tell what's what, right?
Yeah.
And that's what makes D&D so fucking fun, because it's, hey, is this like a very chill, like, low stakes adventure? Cool. Somebody dies, session 1. Hey, it is what it is. It's just like, do what you gotta do. And I have a very, I'm not gonna say antagonistic, but I think I have a very, like, my players love catching me off guard. They love trying to see me pivot, like, try and pivot shit. So it's a mix of, like, so with I'm not Izzy, but like I think of like Fernie's decision to be like, no. It's a mix of like, Fernie is a very cautious character. They're not the kind of person that's like, I'm gonna run in swinging. They're not. That's just not them. But then also at the same time, Izzy is a dickhead. So, and if you're watching this, love you,
Izzy.
Love you. Yeah, like, and they just love trying to, like. And I think that's the fun of D&D and like multiple TTRPGs, because you're playing a story, but then at certain points you do have to like make it smaller than it is in your brain and be like, I am sitting at a table with friends and jokes are gonna happen. And here's the thing, in that moment we both know that like I was gonna find a way to get Fernie into the story, even if she
and you did
refuses the call. We both knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Did they make it harder than it had to be? Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the charm of the character? Kinda. Like, lovable assholes, probably would call them.
It's like a Han Solo character. It's like, they're such a dick, but they're so fun.
Oh, they're so fun. And honestly, here's like, I re-listen to that episode every once in a while, and that bit makes me giggle. Like, that makes me laugh to this day.
Yeah.
Everybody in like the cast being like, what? I'm just like, I'm gonna take the letter and not read it and walk away.
That strangely hooked me. Like that surprisingly, I think that got me to like, I think I enjoyed the podcast more, thinking like, what is in, like, open the letter. What's in the letter? Open the letter. Like,
it's the unexpected, and I really love that when like you're watching something and it feels like, oh, this is what the character would do, not like, okay, cool, we have to get the party together. We have a plot. We have a plot. We gotta get this episode rolling.
So it's the random chance that separates D&D from other kinds of storytelling.
Truly, no matter what medium you're writing for, you know what's gonna happen. There's no like, it's you know what's gonna happen because you're the one in charge of it. And even if it's like a collaborative project, you're all like deciding what happens together. when someone's character dies in D&D, it's not a choice most of the time, unless it's like I heroically sacrifice myself and because I want to play a new character. But a lot of the time, like if everyone is properly invested in the characters that they're playing at that moment, a lot of the time, if a character dies or if they lose an item they care about, or if an NPC that's really important disappears for whatever reason, nobody has any control of that except the DM to a certain extent. His plans get thwarted all the time. Nothing is permanent. It's all liquid.
That anything can happen bit. I think the dice add to that part. The dice also kind of add to the stakes, where like you have that predictability of your typical media, but with the dice, it's like this could be your average cookie cutter fantasy game until suddenly everything goes wrong. We lose the MacGuffin halfway through. Like just something completely unexpected happening because of the dice.
It's the randomness factor really just adds everything to it. And like the more powerful your characters get, obviously there certain mechanics will kick in that will help them like game the system. But at the end of the day, it still is like you could be fucking 20th level, but if you get a nat 1 and you're not a halfling, you're fucked kind of. It's like, what are you gonna do? It's what it is. Like the dice will always be like, if anything, the dice are like, I feel like I'm stealing Brendan Lee Mulligan quotes at this point. I don't remember what episode, but I'm 90% sure he said this at some point, and if I am seeing this, I'm sorry, I'm not a hack. But it's like the dice are like equally as important a player as like the DM and the players. Like they are also that. I mean, the dice have an equal amount of control as I do, like over the story.
Yeah.
It's like,
I try my best to roll in front of the players as often as I can. How do you feel about fudging dice rolls?
Yeah, I hate to be that guy, but I do fudge every.
I mean, you can fudge. I'm anti-fudging.
Okay, I only really fudge in like very certain cases. If it's like, well, this NPC you spent all session trying to save rolled a nat 1 on their death save, but I'm gonna say they only rolled like a 9, so it's 1 and not 2 deaths.
Yeah.
Or like if it's something like not important, like, cool, you guys are stuck in a hole and you're gonna try to climb out, give me an athletics check. Cool, you all climb out, your stupid NPC at the bottom, they got a 7, but I'm gonna say they got a 15 and they get out.
So it's just for convenience, really.
It's fucking, if it's not fun, it's not important, and it's not like no one cares. Like what's gonna happen if that NPC didn't get out the hole? They failed the athletics check. Then I guess they gotta just try again.
Send a rope.
And I guess you will just you just send a rope or you grab them, and that's like an extra couple minutes of fucking what? Okay, go hunt the necromancer now, please.
Yeah. Do you feel like people should be fudging dice rolls?
I feel like, unlike me, because I'm a bad example of this right now, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. Never. You need to make it like you need to make your players think that it's like, no, I'm a hardcore deep. Nobody needs to know. If your character dies, I'm gonna let your fucking character die because I'm a fucking hard ass bitch. And then you need to be like, okay, let me just move this dice a little way. Oh my god, your familiar got a nat 20 and they're not dead. Whoa!
Oh my gosh.
I feel like in really important moments like that, or a player's character is about to die, but it's like, this is going to leave a bad taste in everyone's mouth in this moment. I gotta find a way to like maybe this isn't fudging a roll, but it's very much just like you gotta find a way to like. I feel like vibes are important. Vibes and tone are very important. It's like if a character did die in a campaign, I would honor the role. Of course, I would honor the role. However, I would also try to find a way where it's not like insta death. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Where it's like, cool, your character is dead, but you hear whisperings from a being from another plane.
Oh, and now they come back. They're reborn. I fucking love the Warlock Resurrection. I've done that before.
Good shit. Good shit, dude. Okay. Yeah, for sure.
So fudging dice rolls, you feel like is okay if you keep it a secret and it's for like the story purposes.
Anyway, that's my opinion.
Do you feel like because I feel like the dice is part of the game. And so do you think this is an instance of like the story trumping the game part?
I mean, honestly, to be fair, I know people are like, it's half game, it's half story. I felt like the story bit is a bit more.
Really?
Or at the very least, it's honestly, it's like, it's the percentage of both is how you prefer. I prefer it being a bit more story than the game, you know?
Like a 60-40?
60-40, yeah. Like, if anything, like, when I have the most fun as a DM is in, like, roleplay heavy sessions. You know what I mean? Like, you fight a dragon, cool, but, like, you just found out you have half siblings and, like, your dad is dead. How do you feel about it? So in my home campaign, my players, they had basically, so one character is this like secret Feywild prince that was like abandoned in the material plane for like a mysterious reason that nobody knows. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. Okay. And they spend the whole like the base of the whole Feywild arc like going from each of the like courts of like summer, winter, blah 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 blah, like talking to each of like the duchesses of the Fae, like, I'm your brother, hey, believe me, please. And they persuade all of them, and then it's revealed that like the winter court is like under siege. It's like it's been taken over by like Lolth's army, and that the king and queen of the seasons, so and like the Duchess of Winter have been taken. They're just like the hostages in this giant keep. And it's truly one of my favorite things I've done, and it makes me feel like a bad person, kind of. But so they win, they succeed, and like they free everybody, but it's like it's too late. It's like the queen has survived, but she has like these like insane damages to her body. The king is dead. The Winter Duchess is like stuck in this like ice abomination thing that they need to free her from. So she's like a monster they need to fight, but like not kill. And then like that's like the battle session, right? The session immediately afterwards is like dealing with the ramifications of like, why did you abandon me in the material plane? What's up with that? Oh my god, my dad is dead. What? And like there's like a funeral for the king. You know, and it's just so fucking crazy. I love big character moments like that when it's like, this is fundamentally changing me as a person. Like I say this a lot when I talk to people. I write my D&D campaigns like I'm in a telenovela. Like it's the most dramatic like twist you can think of like my husband abandoned me with child. Your husband? That's my brother. I have a niece. Crazy shit like that.
Do you feel like it makes your games better?
It's like I love gagging people. It's just like I love the shock and surprise. My friends know I do this, so it's up to me to like top myself every single time.
You have to be even more surprising each and every time.
It has to be more fucking ridiculous and more intense each time. In a recent session, I revealed that a character that we kicked off for being racist had a twin. Yeah. Hey everyone, we're against racism, but
that's a stance.
Yeah, I really wish we realized like before a year into the game, because I really did like the PC.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they had that. They shit was blah. So when we kicked them out of the group, basically that character just disappeared. It's like, we don't know what Gal is. Oops a diddle. Oops. And then in a recent game, my players were like communing with the god of Snap, like of the card game Snap. But I have a lot of dumb details in my game because I made this world when I was 17 and I'm 20 now. So, the consequences of one's actions really does affect you down the line. They were communing with the god of Snap, and they saw a vision of this like lost PC, but there was two of them, and they were like, "What does it mean?" Because Snap is about matching things, and they had a twin, and they are now kind of like not part of the crew, but they're like, "I have a MacGuffin that could help with the quest."
There's a lot of new TTRPGs coming out, or not coming out, but like gaining popularity. And I'm sort of sensing a difference between like the combat war game, like kind of crunchy games, and then the more rules light, kind of stripped down. What would you prefer? Like if D&D was gone, what game do you think you would want to get yourself into?
I would probably, if I had like name a system right now that I would play, I think I'd probably just go from like D&D to like Monster of the Week or like a Powered by the Apocalypse game. Although to be fair, I have some critiques.
Yeah.
I really do not like how they do magic in their games.
Really?
I think I just think it's, I don't want to say boring, but I just think it's not, like, interesting. Like, how do I say this? I like having enough rules that I can bend them, but not enough rules where I'm, like, fucking drowning. I like how, like, the spells in D&D are, like, so fucking specific, but you can use it for multiple purposes. Monster of the week, it's like, you do a form of big magic. Define what big magic is, and what does it do? And use the power of imagination to describe what the magic does. Fuck that.
What if my imagination's not good?
What does it look? Yeah, what if it's shit? What if what I ask is too big? What if it's not big enough? I'm not a power gamer, but
what are the borders here? What's the cap? What's the limit?
Yeah, I need to know the box so I can break it.
Yeah. Don't just give me an IKEA set of furniture. I want to build the furniture so I can destroy it.
And I like when it's stripped down of basically everything else. It's just the magic that gets on my nerves. So when I'm like, I would like a magic system that's a bit more crunchy, everyone fucking starts recommending me these intense war games where there's like 200 pages of rules and so much lore, and you need to play it the exact way or it doesn't work. I will kill myself. I will kill myself. It just like nothing that fits. Nothing that fits what I'm looking for. And I'm saying nothing because, to be fair, I did ask this question on Twitter, and I've like so many indie TTRPG projects sliding in my DMs. Like us, please. I'm like, okay, if I have the time.
So it's just like,
I'm not gonna play any TPRPG.
I want to wait for someone who's like special.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the one. I'm not gonna just. I know I'm not trying to rebound. It's like the next TPRPG. I'm waiting. I'm trying to take a break. We're on a break.
I'm working on myself.
I'm working on myself.
I'm just playing Monopoly right now. I'm glad we could have done this interview. This was fun. And I just like talking to you. You have a lot of cool. You're cool, and you have a lot of cool stuff to talk about.
I'm motherfucking. Kidding. I'm kidding. I'm not that much of a cunt. I'm gonna reread this after I get off this. Like, cool. It is so do you want me to do you want to end this video with me reading a couple passages?
Do you want to promote your podcast before?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm gonna pick a passage whilst plugging myself.
Yeah.
You can catch me on Instagram and TikTok at Faisa with a taser. My @ is somewhere on the fucking screen. On TikTok, I make funny. I was gonna say skits. I don't do that because I'm not a comedian. I just make funny little relatable D&D shenanigans.
They're good.
And
I
make
funny.
art sometimes. Oh, thank you. And I make art sometimes on my Instagram. So if you want to follow me, check me out there. I'm also the DM on the Spice of Dice. We are doing stuff there. If you are interested, it is a 1920s apocalyptic steampunky world with a bunch of fun characters and a sorcerer stuck in another dimension, but there's a whole other story. So please check it out. We also have a couple one-shots on there if you don't want to jump into the main campaign. I get it. I'm also affiliated with the Dice Diner. They are very cool. Follow Sebastian if you can. They're a really cool person.
What would you like to end us off on? What words of wisdom would you like to end us off on?
Okay.
While you're looking, you should click on this video to avoid getting your brain melted.
Law 45. Preach the need for change, but never reform too much at once. Yes. And this is like the little biopic for it, like no biopic, but a little like description for it that I'm gonna read in the finish. Judgment. Everyone understands the need for change in the abstract, but on the day-to-day level, people are creatures of habit. Too much innovation is traumatic and will lead to revolt. If you are new to a position of power or an outsider trying to build a power base, make a show of respecting the old way of doing things. If change is necessary, make it feel like a gentle improvement on the past. Evil.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe.